Hello, welcome back to another fragrance review. It's that time of the year, especially here in New York, and this is another fall 10 best video, clones only. So before we get started with the 10 that were selected, we're gonna give a special shout out to this guy, the hype beast Oud for Honor and Glory from Lattafa. Now, this fragrance is not a straight up clone of any fragrance. It is a great combination of vanilla and spices mixed with pineapple and creme brulee, and it is an absolute gem, a beautiful fall, cool weather banger from the House of Lattafa. As you can imagine, there are other fragrances from the House of Lattafa on this list, but we have to give respect to this one, as it is one of the few fragrances that have actually lived up to the hype that was surrounding it in the beginning at launch. And starting us off at number 10 is another from the House of Lattafa. It is Lattafa Khamrah. And just in case you have been living under a rock somewhere, this is a clone of Angel Share by Kilian. And it was one of the first and very best clones of that fragrance, and it gave rise to countless clones of that fragrance, but this still to this day is one of the very best out there that you can find, and that speaks volume as to just how good this was. And there is even a second version of this called Qaeed, which is a coffee version of Lattafa Khamrah. But still to this day, this still remains one of the very best renditions of by Kilian Angel Share that's out there. Starting us off at number 10, Lattafa Khamrah. And keeping it rolling at number 9, we stay with the House of Lattafa or Maison Alhambra. This is Perseus. Now, just looking at the presentation, again, it is not hard to tell which fragrance this is cloning. This is a Pegasus by Parfums de Marly, and this is so well done. The almond and heliotrope in this is identical, and much like the OG, this one has outstanding performance. Beast mode, longevity, beast mode, projection, and nails the scent profile down to a T. Again, that classic fall combination of bergamot, lavender, and vanilla. It's present here, but centered around heliotrope and almond, and it's an outstanding scent for the cooler weather. Number 9 on our list, Perseus by Maison Alhambra, Lattafa. We keep things rolling at number 8 with Shaghaf Oud Tonka from the House of Swiss Arabia. Now this one is a clone of BDK's Velvet Tonka, and if you smell that fragrance before and you put your nose to this, they are absolutely identical. Sweet, smooth, nutty almond and vanilla with a slight touch of rose. Now this one does lean somewhat feminine, but guys, you could definitely pull this off. This is a beast mode fragrance with great projection and great longevity, and a very well done clone that lands at number 8 on our list from the House of Swiss Arabia, Shaghaf Oud Tonka. And we hop across to the House of Fragrance World for number 7 on our list. It is Supreme L'Homme. Now this is a clone of one of my favorite fragrances in my collection. It is a clone of Guerlain L'Homme Ideal, the Eau de Parfum version. This is a beautiful fall time fragrance that is centered around the notes of almond and vanilla, with some rose and cherry added in. Now the original is much bolder and much richer than this fragrance, but that is to be expected of clone fragrances. But this one is no slouch. You get 6 to 7 hours of longevity with good projection from this fragrance. Very close to the scent profile of the OG, but somewhat lighter in its delivery. Number 7, Supreme L'Homme from Fragrance World. Sticking with the House of Fragrance World for number 6, it is Liquid Brun. Now this one recently came to market, and it is a clone of Altair by Parfums de Marly. And much like all the other fragrances on this list, this is very, very well done. Very high quality, very close to the scent profile of the OG, great presentation. There was a time when this was selling for somewhere around $80, which is just insane for a clone. Subsequently, the prices have come down to around the $40 to $50 mark, which I think is a great price for this fragrance and right around where it should be. Again, another one that is a beast mode performer with big time compliment factor. This is a get you noticed fragrance. It's very sweet, very smooth. It just oozes quality and class, and that makes it exceptional for for the cooler weather. Number 6, Liquid Brun from Fragrance World. As we move into the top 5, the quality gets even better, as hard as it is to believe. So we push on to number 5 with Detour Noir from Alhambra. Ugly bottle, but great juice and pressurized atomizer. This has been and still to this day is one of the, if not the absolute best clone of Parfums de Marly Layton. It's aromatic, it's sweet, it's spicy, it's smooth, it's a beast mode performer. It has the same note breakdown, the same scent profile as Layton. It doesn't slouch on performance, it doesn't slouch on quality, just this hideous bottle, but it's what's inside that counts, and what's inside here is outstanding. Since the launch of Detour Noir, there have been countless clones or renditions of Layton, but still to this day, this is one of the best, and still my choice to this day, Detour Noir by Alhambra. Number 4 on our list comes from the house of Fragrance World, and it is a clone of one of the best vanilla fragrances of all time. This is Spectre Ghost, and it is a clone of Nishane Ani. Wow. This is spicy, ginger, and vanilla. Atomizer is kind of shaky, but the juice in this bottle is absolutely phenomenal. There is no harsh opening, nothing abrasive, just right into the scent profile of Ani. This is another one that was a hype beast at launch. I remember people taking pre-orders for like $80 for this. But as always, if you're patient, the prices come down to where they make sense. Around $30 to $40 is what you should pay for this fragrance, and it is well worth it. This is not a one-to-one clone of Nishane Ani, but the scent profile is there. And it is close enough to offset my use of my 50 ml bottle of Nishane Ani, so grateful for Spectre Ghost from Fragrance World. Sticking with the house of Fragrance World for number 3, it is Harmony Code Absolute. And judging by the name, you know what this is cloning. This is a clone of Armani Code Absolute, which has been discontinued. I have never smelled Armani Code Absolute, but if this is what it actually smells like, this is phenomenal. It really did get discontinued before I was able to get my hand on a bottle of it, and looking around for prices now, it's ranging anywhere from $180 to the $200s on eBay, and those sellers aren't very reputable. So risking it to buy what could possibly be a shaky bottle of Armani Code Absolute versus getting a clone or a rendition of the original fragrance, I went with the clone, and this is absolutely stellar. This is smooth apple, vanilla, nutmeg, and suede with a hint of spice that is just so well blended. Again, for the price point of around $30, they were able to recreate a fragrance that was so beautiful, so harmoniously blended, but discontinued. And if you are a fragrance enthusiast or someone that loves fragrances, you can't be mad at this. I know there are people who snob at clone fragrances, but when they're able to do something like this and bring back something that has been discontinued, you can't be mad at that. I'll buy a fragrance at any price if I think it's worth it, but at the end of the day, for me, the price isn't what it comes down to. If it's good, it's good. Doesn't matter if it's $20 or $200. Hopefully it's not more than $200, but if it's $20 or $200, if it's good, it's just good, and this is good. At number 3, Harmony Code Absolute from Fragrance World. Number 2 on our list comes from the house of Afnan. From the Supremacy line, we have Afnan Supremacy in Oud. We haven't heard much from Afnan recently, but the Supremacy line of fragrances is still one of the best to date on the market, and this is a standout in the line. This is a clone of Initio's Oud for Greatness, or Parfums de Marly Layton. It sits somewhere in the middle of those two fragrances, but with an added bit of sweetness for ease of wear. And this fragrance is a love for me because I struggle with oud fragrances on my skin, and this no problem. This is absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, I have a big boy bottle, 150 mls, because I absolutely love this stuff. Saffron, nutmeg and lavender in the opening, paired with sweetness and oud in the middle, on a base of musk and patchouli. This is just stellar. And why I'm so sold on this fragrance is how easy it is to wear compared to other oud fragrances. There are others that play well off my skin, but none more so than this one. So again, it's not a one-to-one clone of Oud for Greatness or Haultain, but it sits perfectly in between those two fragrances. And that is a perfect place to be, at least for me. Number 2, Supremacy in Oud from Afnan. And number 1 on our list comes from the house of Lattafa. We started with Lattafa and we end with Lattafa, Qaeed Intense. Now this, in my opinion, is a hybrid clone. A lot of people are saying it's a straight up clone of Gentleman Reserve Privé, but it has some facets of that fragrance. But I think it also brings in aspects of the original Dior Homme original. So I think this is a hybrid between Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé and Dior Homme original. It does have that cacao and vanillic sweetness to it that you get from the original Dior Homme. And although it's not listed as a note officially, there is definitely some boozy and iris facets to this fragrance as well. And that is why I think it is a hybrid between those two fragrances. But whatever it was created to be, this is absolutely amazing and a must-have. At $25, this is a no-brainer. Absolutely Frag Styles approved, highly recommended. This is a compliment magnet and perfect for fall. Number 1 on our list, Qaeed Intense. And there you have it, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Until next time, stay fresh, stay classy, and I'll see you in the next one.